Welcome to the Realistic Viewer channel. My name is Ivan. Today, let's talk about the steps that you need to consider if you want to prepare for a video review. These tips are mostly general tips that you can use to create the first and best video review on your channel. So let's get started after the intro. Welcome back. Let's start with the first thing that you need to take care of. Writing a script. Knowing what you're going to do, collect the information in regards to the product. There's nothing worse than spending hours working, grinding, making photos, making useful information that you don't use because it isn't correct. Nothing is worse than that, of course. Then the next step is also consider your B footage. So the additional footage that shows what you're talking about in a review, you should plan out how to implement that, but that is something that you also can do in your script. So for example, first you do the unboxing of the video. You show the elements that are important in your product review, for example, and then accordingly you place photos and additional information, maybe even a video that you're panning, zooming in, zooming out on the product itself, and showing additional value for your viewer as you are showing the product and showing what you're talking about. Next thing that you also should consider when making a script and doing the B footage, what are the things that you were looking for when you actually purchased your product? What are people interested in, and what should they actually know about the product itself? This is something very obvious, but you should thoroughly test out the product from A to Z to find out what are the small features that make the product better than the other things. Test out all the elements that a normal consumer might use, or even an expert in that segment for the product itself. There's nothing worse than somebody who does a review that doesn't know what he's talking about. And think like this: if you would go to a salesman, that person actually talks about the product with passion, etc., but then you ask him a basic question about the product itself and he can't even answer it. Would you buy from him? Think about that and apply that in your script, your B footage, and the information period when you're researching the product itself, and then apply that in your review. Which brings me to the next point. Consider your target audience. For who are you making this video? Are you making this video for somebody that doesn't really understand the product itself? Are you in a specialized market? Are you for the typical consumer? In that case, you can then adjust the way that you talk about a product, the actual factual information, statistics, etc. Or if it isn't necessary, you can just leave it out and keep the review simple. Next up, practice. Practice and practice before actually making your video. Being confident and being comfortable in front of the camera is something that not a lot of people learn immediately. It's something that you get while doing it a couple of times. You get comfortable. It's like talking to your best friend, etc. In that way, you create confidence. Also, that the review itself is a little bit more personal. In that case, you can actually interject your personality and apply that information and your feelings behind the product. How did you use it? Did it actually fit with your lifestyle? For who is it meant, etc. If you can translate that even better by being confident in front of the camera, You might see that a lot of people stick around longer, you get a lot more watch time and a lot more comments on your videos, of course. Finally, consider the positives and negatives of the product itself. Sum it up, be honest, be realistic, and give the recommendations for who the product is actually meant for, and in that way you round up the review. Hope the video was helpful. If it did, leave a like. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. This is Ivan from the Realistic Viewer channel, helping you achieve more.